It's great to have you all here. This is meeting number 5 of spring quarter, Cal Poly Entrepreneurs. And tonight we have the Manola Innovations team that is going to be talking with us. We're really excited to have them here. So thanks for joining us, and we're going to jump right in. So meeting, how do I go back? Okay, meeting number 3, recap. Or wait, that was meeting number 4. That was last week. That was with Shane Saltzgiver, who is the founder and CEO of VEC. We had a great conversation with him. For those of you who weren't there, he recommended his top 30 books to share with us. So I have this link here, and I'm going to put that in the chat. You all can check it out. Some of them you've probably heard of, and then other ones are kind of, I hadn't heard of them before, but good ones to add to your reading list. So yes, let's do that. And then an announcement from Jack.
Yes, so we here at CPE are trying to make sure that you guys are staying stylish in your quarantine. So we're dropping some CPE merch. So we made up a bunch of like prototype, just designs of stuff that we could make and sell. Obviously, we can't make all of them at once. So we wanted to get your guys' feedback. If you guys want to help us out, we'd really love it if you can go in the chat right now and just put down which ones of these you like best. What you would most like to get. So, and then give us your feedback, and then whatever you guys like the most we'll make, and we'll have up for sale hopefully next week. That's all from me. Thanks, Alistair.
Heck yeah. Thanks, Jack. Definitely tell us what you want us to see, or if you have an idea for something that we could sell and market, shoot us an email with your ideas. All right, Sophie, hit us up with the entrepreneurship toolkit.
Yeah, so we've also been putting together lots of books and podcasts and articles for you guys all to kind of stay plugged in and to keep up to date with startup culture during your quarantine. So Alistair, if you would hit that link for me, I'll also put it in the chat. So on the drive, under there, I've made a list of all of these resources that you can go and see. Very similar to Shane's list. These are things that if you just have time and you want some kind of extra motivation or some inspiration for your next project, check any of these things out. They come mostly from Sierra and Jose, who won the Hatchery entrepreneurship classes that I've taken, and lots of other Hatchery mentors and people like Jim. So I'll be adding to it, so it should just be a resource for everyone to kind of dive into when they have extra time and they want to keep up to date.
Heck yeah. Sophie, this looks amazing. This is the first time I've seen it, so I love what you've done.
Thanks. Yeah, I thought I would make it look nice and slick. And
I'm going to show all of you the resource folder that you have access to that I'll share in the chat. In here you can see it's Sophie's list that she's compiled, and then also Shane's book suggestions. So definitely be sure to check that out. Something really helpful that he did, he said he created a column, is it good for Audible? And most of these books are good to read on Audible, but some of them are better, like these two. So I thought that was awesome of him to do. All right, so be sure to check those out. We're going to jump back into our announcements. And Kaylin, the Intrepid Podcast.
Yep. Quick announcement, guys. So we have a new episode this week featuring Alexandra Josen, CEO and founder of Integral Sports, and our VP of Events. Also featuring Maxim Dehan, Arman Avidian, and Ivan Dykov, some of our fellow CPE members. So be sure to check that out on your free time. Thanks, guys.
Nice. Thanks, Kaylin. And thank you, Kaylin, for organizing this meeting tonight. So for those of you who don't know, Kaylin lives in Hawaii. Kaylin, which island do you live on?
On the island of Oahu.
Okay, gotcha. And who's your cousin? Is it Austin?
Yeah, my cousin is Austin.
Okay, cool. So Austin is one of the founders at Manola Innovations. Sweet. So now time for a little game that we cooked up, Half Baked. And I'll let Sarah and Armand take it from here.
Okay. I think our Armand is going to share his screen.
Yes, I am.
Yes. So are we going to split into breakout rooms? Should we do that?
I got the room set up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, quick explanation. I'm going to be giving a word randomizer. Oh, and the gardener stopped. It's good time. All right. So I'm going to be opening up a shared screen of a random word generator, and we're going to randomly generate 10 words, and we're going to throw you guys into separate groups of like 4 to 5, maybe. We'll decide, and then you guys got to take 2 words from that list and think of a product or a service and create a pitch. You'll have 3 minutes to figure it out, and then we'll jump right back in here and we'll get the pitches going. And it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be a cool little warm up. So here we go. Let's do 10 words. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Alistair, give me a number 1 to 10.
7.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So if someone could type those words right here in chat for me so that you can see it when you're in your breakout rooms.
I'll write it right now.
Impartial, zinc, hat, ahead, false, witty, female, nice, crazy, and feather. Should be interesting. And then let's get some breakout rooms going.
Okay, perfect. So I've got groups of 4, and then I got 1 group of 3, and then I'm putting the Manaola team into one breakout room so we can hear them pitch something as well.
Yeah, sick. So when you get in your breakout rooms, if you don't know each other, introduce yourself to each other. Give yourself a little quick intro, and then get to it. It's gonna be fun. Get creative.
And then, Armand, just let me know when time is up, and then I will bring everyone back in here.
Yeah, so let me put a timer for 3 minutes.
Okay.
And
I'm going to open up all the rooms, so everyone, let's get to know some people. Have fun. I guess I can go, okay, so let's go with breakout room 1. So that was Ali, David, Jim, and Maxim.
Yeah.
All right. So we came up with the idea of the zinc hat, or a zinc maybe. And there are a lot of benefits that come with zinc, including like immune system and other things that keep the body healthy, prevent age-related issues. And so our product prevents hair loss in the sense that instead of wearing a hat and having hair get stuck to the hat, everything moving by the friction in there, losing hair, you can instead wear a fashionable hat that keeps your hair in one place on your head, ideally for the rest of your life.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Super creative.
All right, we got breakout room 2 with Alistair, Davey, Nick, and Sarah.
I think we had a few different ones.
We also did zinc hat, which was so during this time that we're in a pandemic, it's really important that we all stay healthy, because who knows, today could be your last day. So in that same mindset, it's important to always stay healthy and keep your vitamins with you. So we came up with zinc hat, a hat that allows you to bring all your vitamins in one place at the same time. And when you're feeling a little bit down, like you need more vitamin C, just pull off your zinc hat and have a pill. I don't know.
Awesome. Alrighty, we got Armand, Jack, Micah, and Sophie.
Okay, so we almost did zinc hat, but luckily we took another path and we came up with the crazy feather. So, you know, you're in your house during quarantine. Maybe you don't have air conditioning. Maybe it's really hot. Maybe you just really want to go outside. So, we are introducing the crazy feather, which is a fan which will follow you around your house. It's like the Roomba vacuum, but with a fan. So, you just walk around your house, you go about your business. You're constantly getting a cool breeze.
Awesome. Okay, and then we've got Maddie, Matt, and Owen.
Yeah, so we did crazy zinc. So instead of injecting yourself with Lysol or swallowing a UV light to cure your coronavirus, you just take crazy zinc, which is a spray you just put all over your body. It absorbs through your skin, and it's a much safer cure to coronavirus. And 9 out of 10 doctors said it's helped cure their patients better than injecting Lysol. So that's crazy zinc.
Awesome. And then lastly, we got the Mauna Ola team. Oh, someone's on mute. Oh.
Austin, you gotta unmute.
Is anxiety or stress driving you crazy? If so, the Mauna Ola innovators have developed a product to help you get ahead of these degrading symptoms.
The Stressless vest is a discrete and adjustable compression vest that uses compression therapy in order to relieve your high blood pressure and increased heart rate, which are signs of anxiety and stress. That's it.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. That's actually one of their products that's up and coming. But yep, that concludes the game. Good work, everyone. Armand, did you have anything else to say as we wrap it up?
No, that was nice. I hope everyone's warmed up now.
Alistair?
Is that a window or a door?
Oh, there we go.
A window.
Let's see. Alistair, are you still here?
Oh, I'm on mute. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was
there you
talking
go.
the whole time. Oh man, I love Zoom. Okay, so what I was saying, Half Baked, it's an awesome game. Maybe you can play it with your family and friends sometime. Also wanted to give a shout out to Matt Maxwell. It's his birthday today, so be sure to send him a happy birthday in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hammond, I hope you played well.
Thanks.
So
It
without
started out
further
good.
ado, we're going to jump into our main event of tonight, which is talking with the Manola Innovations team. So I'll let Austin kick it off from here.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today.
Okay, let's do. All right, everybody see?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Just wanted to give a quick thank you to Kaylin for helping set this up. So we are Mauna Ola Innovations. We are a multidisciplinary team focused on the innovation space to develop medical devices. What I believe that really makes us special is that we're motivated to problems that are personal to us to find solutions, making it a very personal drive. We've won and raised around $40,000 to really jumpstart our business. We've done this through business competitions, grant-based programs. And the nice thing is that all this money has been equity and dilution-free money, which has allowed us to keep the controlling power of our company. You can follow us on our website or our social media handles as we continue our venture. So my name is Austin. I'm the CEO. I'm what you would consider a business-minded mechanical engineer. Over the past year, I've really tried to hone in on my engineering skills, kind of getting a niche with expertise in design, rapid prototyping, and inventing. Again, follow my Instagram at austin.yoshino. I would love to talk business, so you can slide in my DMs, collaborate, or whatever may arise.
My name is Everett Amundson, and I am the Chief Innovation Officer. One of the things that we don't have a lot of is the usual structure or the usual titles. Chief Innovation Officer is not one that you would come across very often in your typical C-level executives. But what that means are basically my skill set. I'm a communicology major, which is a subset of communications, focusing more on interpersonal communications, which helps me in negotiations and dialogue between our teams. So I'm sort of the link between the business and the engineering team. I'm the only other person besides Austin, him being the CEO, that is on both the teams. And I help facilitate, basically oversee the majority of the process, making sure that when we're on the business side of it, that we've done all of our proper research into it. On this last product that we're about to talk about, the Stress Less Fest, we did a lot of interviews, which was really important, making sure that we had the product market fit, making sure that it was actually working, and then making sure on the engineering side that we're not completely over engineering things. You know, sometimes we have some really, really amazing engineers that are like way smarter than I will ever be. But, you know, sometimes when you're thinking about stuff, you can get really stuck into one solution. And so it's good to have, like, basically I'm the outsider that looks in on everything. I do honestly a lot of overseeing basically, but adding specific notes on what could be improved from the other side of things. Honestly, it's really interesting. My educational journey has taken me through a few different fields, and I ended up in communicology because it allows me to sort of study the communication between different disciplines. So it allows me to help our engineers communicate with our business people, and our business people communicate with our engineers. And I just wanted to thank all you for the opportunity for coming on here.
Josh?
How's it, guys? My name is Joshua Friedman, originally from Los Angeles, so just a little bit south of all y'all in Cal Poly. I'm the CIO, Chief International Relations Officer, Manola, and I'm about to get my degrees in International Business and Management here at University of Hawaii. I have a lot of other different educational experiences and boast a big global network, and kind of that my global network and contacts mostly throughout Europe, but really throughout all of the world is really where my advantages to the team are going to come in. Our products are not just meant to help people in the United States or just directly contact us. We want to help. We have the potential to help everybody across the world, and my expertise and my knowledge and network will really help us kind of branch out and tap into those other markets. That's kind of where my expertise comes in. I also have a more logistics side of it, being management, kind of reining the team, provided outside the box thinking and alternative perspectives to certain aspects of the team, specifically the business team, and kind of manage it into a different way.
So one of our products is a technologically enhanced walking assistive device, also known as a gait trainer. If you don't know what it is, it's very similar to an elderly walker, except the person is harnessed into the device. We do have a patent pending status, which was pretty cool because I got to learn IP as well. And we're looking to partner with a super factory in Japan to contain the development. We actually just finished a 3D printed prototype of the device today, and so I was fiddling with that and putting that together. And one of the cool things about this is that it started off in a niche market for my little brother with cerebral palsy. He uses a device like this to be mobile. And so obviously as an engineer, I was looking at that and thinking, you know, there's got to be a way to make it better. And so I found the Heligo, which was kind of the launch pad of our company. But through extensive market research and customer discovery interviews, we found that we were able to expand the market to the elderly. And that was really huge because, you know, if I tell you I have a device for people with cerebral palsy, you know, you may or may not care. You may or may not know someone, but everybody has at least 4 elderly parents, right? So it brings that relatability to the product and helps us able to, or it'll allow us to wide scale the product as well. Everett, you're muted.
Thank you. The other product that we're in the process of developing right now is the Stress Less Vest. And actually, this one is closer to market. Basically, the concept of it, you heard our little pitch there for that warm up, the icebreaker, the half baked. But essentially what it is it's a compression device, and it simulates a hug. There's been some research done by the Cleveland Clinic and a few other institutes that proves that after 12 to 20 seconds of compression, your body naturally releases oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin, which are the feel-good chemicals for your brain. And that also naturally, and once those chemicals hit your brain, it naturally reduces your blood pressure and heart rate, which is basically some of the physical manifestations of panic or stress attacks. And we had originally modeled this. Austin had come up with the idea, but I sort of spearheaded this project because it's really personal to me. I suffered through some really intense anxiety throughout high school and really struggled with ways to manage it, tried medicine and a bunch of different stuff, and nothing really helped. So I'm really happy and proud to be able to bring this solution to the market. Like I mentioned in my little spiel for myself, we did a absolute ton of interviews for this. That was honestly the big part of this. And then we're lucky enough to have a seamstress on our team. So she was able to do most of the prototyping for this one in-house. And then we recently connected with a local manufacturer, Palm Cloth, through HTDC. And we are about to begin pre-sales here, hopefully June or so, and get some pre-sales out and then use that to either license or do some large-scale manufacturing. We're still sort of weighing some options there, but so that is our secondary product.
So the end goal for our company is to be a technological powerhouse with a deep well of innovation that we can apply to varying areas of our choice. Basically what that means is, we're keeping the mission broad. The mission of our company is to power a higher quality of life. And the reason why we chose to make something so broad is so that we can kind of tackle whatever we choose. Like I said, we draw motivation close to us. And so, one of the two things that Everett and I talked about really are Alzheimer's and cancer. And yes, I know it's a very audacious and ambitious goal, but it's something that we strive for. And it's one of the morals of our company. So in my opinion, the main goal of an entrepreneur is to find a way to turn a passion into a career. If you look it up on Google, you may find that an entrepreneur creates jobs or finds opportunity. But the real definition to me is really turning your passions into something that can support yourself. I think if you're not passionate about what you do, you probably shouldn't be in the field. Entrepreneurship is kind of too hard to be in something that you don't like doing every day. I've had a very unique experience in the entrepreneurship field because I come from a engineering, a scientific, and a business background. And there's essentially three kinds of innovation, right? There's scientific innovation, which is mixing a bunch of chemicals together and making something really cool, or you're in a biologist lab or biology. And there's technological innovation, which stems from engineering, making something hardware, software, something really cool and breakthrough. And then there's value innovation. Value innovation is more focused towards the business mind. And from what I've read and what I've researched and what I know is that value innovation is more important than scientific and technological innovation. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say you're making a lot of us, especially engineers, get lost in the technological breakthroughs, as Everett was talking about. But if you can't apply that, then nobody really cares, right? Like, the value is really like the who cares, what is this product going to do? How is it going to advance my life? Like, so for an example, we've talked about putting sensors into our Stress Less Vest, right? And integrating a heartbeat or a breathing rate sensor would be pretty scientific or technological, innovative. You're integrating electrical components into fabric, you're weaving it, it's seamless. But at the end of the day, how does that truly benefit the end user, right? Like, the end user puts on our vest, uses it to activate the compression, and feels better. That truly is the value innovation that we're giving our user. So I think it's very important to make sure that as you go through the product development phase, you really focus on the value. A general rule for advice is that people can only advise you based on their personal experiences. I've had the blessing to talk to a lot of people from very, very diverse backgrounds. And this is kind of like the streamlined advice that people tell me or that I take for myself, is if this person is an entrepreneur in the software space, he probably can't give me the best advice on entrepreneurship in the hardware space, because it's really two different games, right? So it's just something to take with a grain of salt, and know that when you talk to people, when you get advice from people, just make sure you really realize like what is their strengths, gear your questions towards their strengths, and try to make the most out of it. With that being said, this is my general advice. I think the first skill anybody should learn is to learn how to learn. You really want to make sure that being able to, because you're as an entrepreneur, you're always evolving, you're always learning new things, and it's super important to learn how to learn. If you learn one skill, you know that one skill, but if you learn how to learn skills, then you can learn unlimited skills, right? I do think that there are 3 skills that need to be learned, and that's marketing, selling, and negotiating. Everything you do in life is you're marketing, you're selling yourself, and you're negotiating, right? If you think about, going to job offers or talking with your parents or convincing people, it all comes down to these 3 skills. The ABCs is to always be curious. That means always asking questions, asking why does it work this way? Why can't I do that? Why hasn't this been done? Indulging yourself in research. I try to spend about an hour or 2 a day just going on Google and Googling a bunch of random things that come into my mind, to really try and find new fields and be curious. The last is to follow your hunches. I feel like everybody is here because they're innately confident in themselves. And as an entrepreneur, you're really going down a path that hasn't been paved before. And so you're truly the only person who knows if it's going to work. And so if you believe that's going to work, work hard and manifest it, and usually it does come true. I wanted to keep this presentation really short because I really like the collaboration discussion-based style of these talks better. So feel free to ask questions or discuss or bring up anything that you want to bring up.
Yeah, so that being said, feel free to ask questions on video or type it in the chat. Let's see if anyone's going to ask any questions. I guess I'll ask a question to kind of start us off. Austin, do you think you could tell us a little bit more about your guys' origin story, or how you guys really started? I know you mentioned that, your brother and my cousin sparked the initial idea, but kind of how you began to find team members and go from there.
Okay, so the company started because I was in distraught after failing 2 exams. I was like, oh, screw this, I'm gonna fail. I had all these bad thoughts in my mind, and I started doing some research, and I was like, hey, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, and Bill Gates were all college dropouts, so screw it, I'm gonna start a business. I had done some of the research for the Heligo before, and then I went to a professor who was a serial entrepreneur, and he pointed me to this competition, and then I ended up entering that, winning that. And then Everett and I, being housemates and previous business partners, I recruited him to help out on the business side. And then we launched this marketing video. And at the time, it was really only geared towards the Heligo, which was formerly known as the G Trainer. And so we decided, we're gonna try and take this product to market. We're gonna go through all these competitions and try and raise some money. And we recruited Kendra, who is now our COO, but she's a superb business major. She's triple majoring and graduating in 3 years. Super, super smart, super strategic. So that really added to our team. We entered the business plan competition, won first place in that, got a cash prize in another competition that connected the American and Japanese ecosystems. So that's how we got the Super Factory partnership. And then we were continuing on this venture. We recruited a CTO, Jason, ended up recruiting Josh after. And most of the team was through my Greek life connections. At least the C-level executive team. And then we recruited a couple engineers, one from Washington, one from UH Manoa, and then a finance person from UConn. So the team kind of exponentially grew as we put some more marketing videos out, and people really loved the mission and the vision. But the mission really was in the beginning just to do this one product. And then we started to realize, hey, we're really creative. We're really good at finding opportunities. Let's broaden the mission. Let's make this about anything. Our CTO is like, hey, I really want to make robots. And I was like, okay, that's cool. It doesn't really quite fit in with making a walker for elderly people. But if we expanded the mission to be like, we just want to help people improve their quality of life, then anything can kind of fit in that category.
Okay, yeah, we have a question from Ali. She said, at the early stages of your company, how did you recruit new team members with only limited finances?
So it really helped that I was in a fraternity and I had a pretty big network. Nobody's getting paid for now, but what I really think the draw was the holistic mission. You know, people join the team not because I wouldn't get emails being like, hey, I want to be a part because I want to make a lot of money and I want to be rich. It was, I really like what you're doing. I see the value in it. I want to help people. Please let me be a part of the team. You know, and so that really is the draw to it. And everybody has their own little way of recruiting. It really just is what works for you and what works best for your company. Obviously, finances is probably the easiest way to recruit someone. You know, more often than not, you go to someone and you're like, hey, I'm gonna offer you a job and some money. It's a pretty big motivational factor. But I think if you can find ways to do that without, you know, the more power to you.
If I could tag in on this, we've added a number of people very quickly. I mean, our since Austin and I first started this, you know, about coming up on 2 years now, I believe. You know, it really was just the two of us, and you know, starting to recruit the other C-level executives. You know, it really was just finding people who lined up with our mission, who really wanted to help, who had some sort of personal experience of their own, who maybe motivated them. Like Austin had his brother, you know, I had my experiences with anxiety, you know, whatever. And really it allows people, we're trying to really allow people a platform to express any sort of, I don't know, just basically put some, if you have a problem that you want to solve, you know, we want to be able to give you the resources to solve that problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is really the end goal here. We want to recruit, you know, brilliant minds that have a problem that they think, you know, like potentially Austin, you know, mentioned ALS and cancer both run in both of our families and run very near and dear to us. So, you know, eventually we'd like to tackle those, but unfortunately neither Austin and I are, you know, neuro specialists for those sort of degenerative diseases or cancer specialists at all. So eventually it's just going to be us throwing a bunch of money at them. But for now, and it really helps solidify the core of our business was having people that were really all like-minded.
If I could add to that a little bit too, really more than finances, the important part of being a good and cohesive team, I think, especially for us, is the passion for our mission statement, like what we all truly believe in the potential that we all have together as a unit. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in it together. And finding people outside of finances that truly have a passion for what you want to accomplish are going to just enhance your end goal farther and, you know, better than you could even imagine. Like us as a team, you know, United, we got 5 and expanding incredible brains that we really like. We all believe in each other, and that's really what kind of it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, yeah. Another question. What do you think your guys' biggest challenge has been so far?
Ooh, the biggest challenge has been to articulating the vision. You know, it's very easy to be like, I have an app that does X and it will help Y, you know? But to say like, hey, we're going to power your higher quality of life, like, what does that even mean? You know, what are you going to do? How are you going to make money? And when we started pitching that, everybody was like, I like that, but like, I don't quite get it. So it took us a while for us to really articulate and put together the vision of the company. But I believe that was a good thing. You know, I believe that now looking back on it, now that I've started a couple other business ventures and have been able to do all of it like that, the reason why it took so long is because we were shooting for something really big and audacious. And so, you know, I think us taking the time to really think about it ended up being beneficial in the long run.
Yeah.
But yeah, that has definitely probably been the biggest challenge.
Also just having two products in two pretty different places. Our G Trainer, the Heligo is going to be an FDA licensed. It's going to have to have UL certification and a whole bunch of testing. It's going to be super regulated. We hope to have it get a durable medical equipment license so that it can be covered by insurance. Whereas the Stress Less Fest we're trying to have it be completely consumer. You can buy it off the shelf. Anyone could have it, whether you have a diagnosed mental health disorder or not. So people, even to this day, you know, sometimes when people see that we're in those two very different spaces, they're kind of like, what are you doing, you know? But it really has come down to we've gotten a lot of advice that's said, both sides, either you should split up the company or you should no, this is fine. And honestly, it's really just down to like how much work you're willing to put in, and what your overall vision for your company really is.
So to answer a question that comes up a lot is, why don't you split the companies? We've been asked this a lot, and like it comes down to two reasons. The first one is like we work so well as a team. All of us are so connected, so like-minded. We're really glued together, and like we believe that as a team, as a unit, we're so much stronger than if we were to split. And then like some people are like, you're losing focus, or like, why don't you focus on one? And it's really hard because we're so passionate about both areas, and we truly believe in both products, and that they will both have a really big impact. So it's not like, and the time is now. The time to do it, the time to launch, the time to work on it is right now. And so it's not like we can shelve one or put one on their side or focus on something else. No, we're focusing on two things at the same time, going full steam ahead for both tracks, and we're very confident about it.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any other questions? Feel free. Yeah, Armand said, how did you test the effectiveness of your secondary product?
So we made a working prototype, and then we put it on people, and we're just like, rate your stress and anxiety on a scale of 1 to 10 before putting on the vest, put on the vest, and then rate your stress or anxiety after.
So how were you able to like make sure that none of those were like placebo effects, or because it was purely subjective? So how were you like?
Right. It was pretty subjective, but this is a subjective based product. This is one of those products that if it works, it works. Like because the space of anxiety and depression and panic attacks is a little bit on the subjective side, in a way put by our advisor. If he's a hypnosis, right? So he was like, if someone is having a panic attack and you hypnotize them and they feel better, the point is that they feel better and that it works and that they're not in that panic phase anymore. So it really, really is, put it on someone, does it work? If it works, that's great. And that's all we care about. That's all we need to know. And that's all you really care about.
And also it is sort of the people who love it absolutely love it, and the people who don't get it just don't get it. We had about 85% of the participants who were in the last set of studies that we did say that they had a reduction in stress, but some people who have mental health disorders also feel claustrophobic. Like my girlfriend, for instance, has stress and anxiety like I do, but she gets really claustrophobic, so this doesn't work for her. So it's very much like a hit or miss, but we did find that the majority of people did feel a stress reduction. And there was actually, we quantified it, and there was actually a pretty big reduction in stress for those who rated their stress at a 7 or higher on that 10-point scale. But yes, so to answer your question, more or less, we're not 100% sure that this does work, but the people who put it on and love it, they're sure. We are also looking into partnering with JABSOM, which is the medical school here at University of Hawaii.
Or something like that.
Or something like that. We have a few different resources. We have some resources within the Navy as well. We might do some PTSD testing. But we have some resources. We just haven't gotten to that stage yet.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Any other questions?
With being such a like-minded team, how do you strike a balance between being on a similar page and having the same motivations, and being too like-minded and having groupthink and hurting innovation and innovative ideas?
Well, we're all like-minded in the sense that we have the same goal. But, we all bring different strengths to the table. Like Everett and I are very ambitious, like somewhere on the verge of crazy ideas, and then Josh and Kendra are very realistic, very risk management, very strategic, and so Everett and I would meet and we'd be like, yo, we have this crazy idea. And then we call up Kendra and we're like, hey, Kendra, what do you think about this? Or hey, Josh, what do you think about this? And you're like, and then usually it's like, that would work, but maybe we do this. And like, it's usually a compromise, right? So like crazy and realistic, and then you compromise. And usually that compromise is something that works and ends up being really, really well.
was gonna say we're piggyback on that a little bit. Like we're all like-minded, like Austin was saying, but we all come from slightly different backgrounds and different perspectives. And so the difference in perspective is what eliminates the whole group think. And I don't think it impedes our progress at all. If anything, it enhances it.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
Let's see. Okay, I have one more question as people are maybe thinking more. So you shared with us like a challenging moment with your company, but like what is one of the moments that maybe you've been the most proud of or something that, you know, you really enjoyed?
Okay. So April 25th, 2019, I believe, 2019.
That's almost a year ago.
Yeah, almost a year ago, we competed in the business competition for $10,000. That night, we were also presenting to the College of Engineering banquet, right? So it was the finals it was a Thursday night. We walked into the competition. We didn't know the results yet. We competed, we won, and then less than half an hour, we were at this banquet with like 2,000 people there, like the most we ever presented. And we walked into the banquet with this like giant $10,000 check and stood up on stage and presented. And so like that was like super, super cool. It was like the highest of the highs. We just won $10,000 first place, went to the College of Engineering banquet, which is the biggest banquet for the College of Engineering. It's their like year-round or yearly fundraiser that's super, super big. We're presenting in front of all these senior projects that, you know, didn't necessarily have the chance to go on stage and present. And we were giving this presentation while 5 of us were standing there. Kendra and I were talking, and then Everett and Jillian were holding this check and just like smiling. And it was like, it was great. It was amazing.
You're just sitting up there cheesing with that big check. Oh.
Yeah. We had some good food. And yeah, it was a great night. And then we went on a Silicon Valley trip as a team. That was really cool. We were like in really fancy hotels doing business meetings, talking to our advisors, walking around, touring the city.
Yeah, the San Francisco trip really was pretty amazing. Unfortunately, this was right before Josh joined the team, but that at the time that was our core C-level executive team, and so we were really able to bond because that was like that was the most extended amount of time that any of us had spent with each other. So there's definitely a lot of growth and bonding, as well as learning how to tackle problems as a group. You know, that was some really great experience that way, as well as just like kind of, you know, seeing what the possibility could be. You know, in a few years, you know, it could be the 4 of us up in the top of the building with young entrepreneurs come to see us.
The 5 of us, yeah.
Sorry, 5 of us, yeah, absolutely now.
Yeah.
But yeah, just, you know, something like that. Just, you know, it's great on your vision.
On the last night of the trip, we were in this like really dinky Airbnb in Palo Alto because we spent all our money in the SF Airbnb. And we ended up getting like a bottle of Henny and like finishing it. And then we all signed it and we were like, this is going to be worth like multi-billion dollars one day. And we still have it. It's going to be in the shelf someday, but yeah.
So
it's like little bonding.
Awesome to hear your story, guys. We have a few more minutes. Just wanted to ask you guys, you know, you made a lot of progress so far. How close are you guys to selling that first product?
So we're really close. We got our first initial batch or first prototype for the manufacturer, make some tweaks, and then have something ready for market, make some marketing content, and then launch the Kickstarter. And then the rest will be history, hopefully. And I mean, obviously there'll be a lot of work in scaling, but you know, we'll be able to say that we put a product on the market, which is kind of like the big goal for entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll have pre-sales by June, and hopefully a secondary marketing campaign, as well as either a large-scale distributor or have it licensed by the summer, or by the end of the summer.
Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you guys for the opportunity. It was a pleasure.
Awesome. So, Alistair, are you going to wrap us all up, or?
Yeah, unless you had anything, Kaylin.
I believe that's it. I just wanted to thank Austin, Everett, and Joshua for coming again. As you guys can see, entrepreneurship is kind of something that's starting to grow in Hawaii. and it's really exciting because Hawaii is not necessarily known for business and tech. But with these entrepreneurs like Austin and Everett and Joshua, it's really starting to expand. So it's really amazing to see. And I just kind of wanted to share a piece of that world with you guys. I know that there's other really like innovative communities besides SLO. But yeah, thank you again, Austin, Everett, and Joshua.
Absolutely.
No problem. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
It was great meeting all of you.
Yeah, thank you for your questions. Great questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, the last thing, Austin, would I be able to share your contact information if anyone has any
Yes,
additional
of course.
questions?
Go for it. Yeah. Yep. My phone
Okay,
number,
awesome.
email, either one works. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
I think.
Thanks, guys.
Of course. This is great.
Yeah, awesome.
Bye.
Well, that wraps up our meeting. So yeah, thank you. We'll see you guys next week.